Pathetic ass. He's a drunk. Now tell the truth on that. They beg you to come sit down. For real? You! Everybody want to know yes I did! Get on!
I went down the rabbit hole of Mitchelle Blair. So Mitchelle Blair tortured her children, then put them in a freezer. Let's go find out what would make a mother do such a thing. Let's get into the video. Hey special family, welcome back to another video. So I was on Facebook minding people business and I came across this video that I had to share with you. So it's about a woman whose name is Mitchelle Blair. All I saw, the horrors of Mitchelle Blair. And I wanted to know, what are they talking about? I went down a rabbit hole and I'm gonna take you with me. If you're new here, I'm Autism Mom. On this channel, we talk about autism and everything in between. If you'd like to be part of the family, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It's free. Join the family. But let's get into this rabbit hole. Let's go to the computer. Hey family, this is the story that we will be discussing today. It's from allthat'sinteresting.com. And the title is Mitchelle Blair tortured her children, then hid their bodies in a freezer for years. So let's see what would drive a mother to do this. First, let me show you a clip of what Mitchelle Blair looks like and what it's looking like out here in the streets, child.
Pathetic ass. He's a drunk. Now tell the truth on that. They beg you to come sit down. For real? You! Everybody want to know yes I did! Get on!
The shocking courtroom clips you just witnessed document the unhinged behavior of Mitchelle Blair. Take note of her insane outbursts, as you're about to see a different side of her in stark contrast to this public persona that she never wanted to reveal to the public.
Alright, so I just wanted to give you some insight on what Mitchelle Blair looks like. So in 2015, 35-year-old Mitchelle Blair was living on the east side of Detroit with her 4 children when she was evicted for not paying rent. Relatives say she was unable to keep a job and would always call them for money. But those calls stopped when they refused to help and advised her to get a job and go back to school. This is Mitchelle Blair. Mitchelle Blair apparently disregarded their advice because on the morning of March 24, 2015, she was served an eviction notice, but she wasn't there. That's when a crew from the 36th District Court went inside and began removing furniture from the home. What they removed next wasn't furniture, and it would send shockwaves through the community. Inside a white deep freezer located in the living room of the home was the frozen body of a teenage girl wrapped in a large plastic bag. When police arrived, they made yet another discovery. The body of a boy right underneath her. So that's 2 kids in one freezer. A neighbor didn't waste any time disclosing Mitchelle Blair's whereabouts. Police found her at another neighbor's house with her 2 children, aged 8 and 17. But her other children, Stephen Cage Berry, 9, and Stony Ann Blair, 13, were missing. Let's find out what happened to them.
The following interrogation footage has never been seen before. Mitchelle Angela Blair, a 35-year-old mother of 4, appeared to be a dedicated and loving mother to the outside world. But a twist of fate revealed that not only was that a lie, but that she was also hiding an unimaginably disturbing secret in plain sight within her apartment. Mitchelle's lies came crashing down around her when she failed to pay rent for her East Side Detroit apartment. She was eventually served a court-ordered eviction notice. On March 24, 2015, a crew arrived at her apartment to carry out the eviction, only to find out that Mitchelle wasn't there. So they began moving her things out, including all of her furniture. In the living room, where the family spent much of their time together, the moving crew found a large white freezer. When the freezer was opened, to the movers' horror, all of Mitchelle's darkest secrets were exposed. Because of this disturbing discovery, they immediately called the police. Mitchelle was eventually found at a neighbor's apartment where she was hiding with two of her children, but the other two, 9-year-old Stephen and 13-year-old Stoney, were nowhere to be seen. Mitchelle was arrested and brought in for questioning, where she shared the horrific story in graphic detail. As she was being led away by police, Mitchelle said to them, "I just want you to know I'm not evil. It was just an evil act." The following footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed attorney.
You're not evil. It was just an evil act. Okay, Mitchelle. We found two kids in the freezer, and you are not evil. It was just an evil act. Let's see you explain this evil act. So now I'm gonna show you Michelle's interrogation of the first child. She's going to tell us how it happened, why it happened, and when it happened. Let's see what we could get out of that.
Where are your other two kids, Tony and Steven? At my house. At the old house. Where in your house are they? Freezer. Who put them in there?
So she tells them that the kids are in the freezer, and she takes full responsibility for telling them they're in the freezer. But you can also tell that she's ashamed.
First opened the freezer, they found a teenage girl's frozen body inside. She was completely naked and covered in frost, except for a large black plastic bag that was placed over her. Her head was pressed against the inner side of the freezer wall, where there were bloodstains next to her face. A long piece of black fabric, possibly a silk scarf, was still fastened around her neck, and there were notable injuries to her throat, her right cheek, right brow, her bicep, and her chest. Under the girl were several blankets, but because her body was frozen to the side of the freezer, only a portion of the blankets could be cut away. But the police were able to cut a hole, which revealed another frozen body hidden under the first. This one, a preteen boy. Neither body was able to be removed from the freezer, and instead, the entire thing was sent to the Wayne County Medical Examiner.
Imagine having to send an entire freezer with bodies to be thawed out at a medical examiner. This woman, and she lived with this freezer in her house with the kids in it. That means you had to be walking by that freezer every day, being reminded of the horrific act you committed, the horrific crime that two of your kids that you carried 9 months gave birth to are sitting in that freezer.
Examiner.
Why did you do that? Because they were.
What?
Along with the other thing. When you say they, who are you referring to?
Mitchelle alleges that two of her children, Stephen and Stoney, were inappropriately touching and assaulting her youngest son, Alex.
So it's important to know that none of Mitchell's claims about Stephen and Stoney have ever been substantiated, and all allegations could certainly all be fabricated. So she's alleging that two of her kids were assaulting the younger one. So they're speculating that the story could either be a lie or it could be the truth. So let's see which way we're leaning towards. Or they're saying that she uses this story to cope with the fact that she unalived them and put them in the freezer so she can live with herself. So yeah, delusional.
I didn't find out what's going on, but they have been going on for years. In diapers.
So let's keep in mind, Mitchelle is a stay-at-home mom. She took the kids out of school. They don't go to school. So they're with her every day, all day. If your child was being abused, how did you not know? How did you not see any signs, any bruises, anything? Like, how did you not know? So are you delusional or not?
How did you become aware that he was getting... Oh, I came home one day. It was basically saying, come look what he's doing. He wasn't doing it by the time I went in the living room. But she said, show him what you was doing. So he had two little wrestle men.
So basically, Mitchelle is saying she asked her son what happened, and the son used two dolls to show her what the other sibling did to him, basically, or the other siblings did to him, or sibling, I think it's one, did to him. So when he showed her with the dolls, she then concluded that they were abusing him.
When was this? This was a while ago. This incident didn't just happen.
When you say a while ago, was it a year, 2 years, a month?
Around there.
Around where?
Year or two. I don't know why he acted it out like that. It's just, I don't want nobody to think that anything's wrong with my son. You get what I'm saying? Because there's nothing wrong.
No, nobody's making any judgments. I just want you to tell me what happened. Nobody's passing any judgments.
I know, because like to read it, when they read it, they're not going to understand. Like,
no, listen. That's why I want to record exactly what you tell me, okay? So nobody's passing any judgment on your son or on you or anybody, okay? We just want to know what happened, okay?
Okay.
So just feel comfortable telling me what happened. Okay. I want you to make nothing up or think about how it's going to look. I just want you to tell me so we can help you, okay? And we can help your son if he needs it.
And after he told me, so I had to keep his face, and I said, anybody do that to you? And he said, no. And he put his head down and he said, yes. I said, who the f-? You know what I mean? I was upstairs. So I went upstairs with him, and I asked him, would you f- your brother? Or your effing brother? Would you f- your brother? And
so you asked somebody did that to him?
Yes. And I'm like, why are you playing like that? I told him that's nasty as hell. Why are you playing with that? I said, did somebody do that to you first? He said, no. And he had his head on and he said, yes. And I asked him who, and he said, I just went straight upstairs with him, with all three of us. And I'm asking, and he said, no, he's lying. Like, no, I'm not. You know, so I'm looking at the both of them. And I said, what? Because I'm not understanding. It was, you gotta understand, I was a lot younger than she was, like, over a year ago. And he had to be quiet about it all this time. So when he's telling me, he's getting loud. He's like, yes, he did. Yes, he really did this to you. Why didn't you tell me? Because they said they was going to kill me and beat me up. I told him to tell me the truth before I beat the hell out of him. And he says, well, I hung on him, but that's it. And then he said, no, it's not. I just remember walking out the room. So, I mean, I remember everything else. I'm just saying, it's like, I couldn't say I wasn't like out of my mind. You understand?
When do you think this was?
Roughly 2 years ago.
What did you do at that point?
I sat on the floor for a while by the edge of the door, and I just remember I kept going, what the f***? I told man, I said, tell me the truth.
You say you went outside and sat on the floor?
No, I went in the hallway. Like, okay, I was in his bedroom when we talking to him about all this, because that's where he was at. And I just stepped, like, in the hallway between the door and, you know, like the threshold, and I sat on the floor. And I'm looking at them like, what the f***? This is your brother, you know? So I asked, are you telling the truth? And the way he was crying, he just wouldn't stop talking. He said, yes, you do. You're in my bed. Look, they did this to him every day, every night.
What did you do after that? Did you take any physical action towards?
Not just yet. And I just closed the door, and I just kept looking at him. I said, I can't believe you. I took him downstairs because he was telling me more and more stuff, and it was not making sense. It's just, I got through telling me everything, and I went back upstairs. And I opened the door because I fully believed him, and I know that's what he had did. So many things that, after finding out, now it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? It's like certain things, I'm like, what's wrong? Or he crying, or he fell off the bunk bed, and I'm fussing at him, take toys away from him. It's like I'm fussing. He didn't even do.
What did you do when you went back upstairs?
Yeah, what did you do?
I punched him. I just started punching him. I just kept punching him.
At what point did you stop punching him?
Oh, that's not how I stopped punching him because he looked up and he said, okay, I'm ready to tell the truth.
So let me ask you this: if You keep beating a child, beating a child. We were all kids once. If I can't take the beating no more, I'll say whatever you want me to say because I'm tired of you beating on me. So I feel like that's what was happening. Because if she's punching him in the face and punching him everywhere, he probably couldn't take it anymore and like, okay, fine, I did it.
I said, this is what you did then? He just said yes. I punched him again.
I can see how the child got tired of that beating and the punching she was giving him. It was hurting. He was in pain. So he could probably say, yeah, I did it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I did it. For her to stop beating on him. And it's possible that he did it. But there's a left and a right side to it. Which one is the truth? He did it or he took the blame because he wanted her to stop beating him. So, yeah, let's see how this happens under your roof when you're a stay-at-home mom at home with the kids all day.
Ask you this. Okay. How long been in the freezer? 2 years. I want to say 2 years. You said almost 2 years or 2 years? I want to say 2 years.
You trying to tell me you walked past that freezer for 2 years with your own flesh and blood in there that you gave birth to, carried for 9 months, and you right in the head? There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with this lady. That ain't even, ooh, child.
How long have you been in the freezer? About a year. She died when? On May 25th.
A year.
Of what year? Last year? It would have to be. I'm just a blur.
This is Mitchelle other daughter that died on May 25th, and she's not. She said she was there a year, and the son was there 2 years. So 2 years after, a year after killing your son, you then kill your daughter and also put her in the freezer in the living room that you walk by every day. This is sad. This is sad. Okay, so she's saying it's a blur, but one was killed August 30th, 2012, and the daughter was killed a year later on May 25th, 2013. So when people asked where the kids were, she would tell neighbor, friends, even the kid's father that they went to live with an aunt because they did bad things to Alex, which is the youngest son. My thing is, if Ramsey don't go to school 1 day or 2 days, hell, 3 days, they trying to send me a letter saying, oh, if he doesn't go to school, we have to report it to DFACS and all this stuff. How come she didn't get those letters? How come she didn't get those calls? And he had COVID, and they were sending me the letters with a positive result test in there. Maybe they forgot to check. I don't know. But if I can get those letters, where her letters go? I'm asking for a friend.
Can't I was holding him. He died. Just holding him. What caused him to die? I didn't ask you what you were doing. I asked you, how did your son? I don't know. What I'm saying is he died from what I inflicted on him, but it wasn't, he didn't die right then. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I couldn't tell you specifically what happened inside. When you say you afflicted on him, what did you afflict? I was punching him. So you say you don't know what caused him to die? No, I know I did. What I'm saying is, I don't know specifically what's going on in his body. You get what I'm saying? Is there some things that we can, I don't want Ron to know because she'll feel bad and it's not her fault in any way. It's just me and you talking. Okay. Well, like I said, my aunt loved us, but after it happened, I called her. She was mad at me because, it's just she made my life together, period. Okay? So I called her and I asked her if anything happened, if you take the kids. She was like, Angel, you've always leaned on me, which I do, and she's tired. You know what I'm saying? I've had kids, that's definitely not. She was saying, just get yourself together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't want her to hear that and think, oh my God, if I would tell her, but I'm like, what did you want to tell her? Everything, because she was a cop. She was the first person I called, and I couldn't even say it to her.
And how did your son die? Okay, so you did something. I need you to tell me specifically.
So right now, she's trying to beat around the bush because her guilt is kicking in. And I understand that now that you get it off your chest and you confess and you say it to somebody else, it sounds harsh as heck. But now you need to confront your demons. So she's swinging through many roads to get to the point. Just get to the point. How did he die?
What it was. So you just punched him?
Like just punching him to keep him out. Yeah.
I mean, what did you do? You punched him?
Basically everywhere. I choked him.
Choked?
With your hands?
Yes.
Wow.
That's not how he died.
No?
What else did you do?
I'm saying
so you punched him everywhere, you choked him. What else? I mean, you want to come clean, right? You want to get this off your chest. It's just me and you talking. Okay, nobody's here to judge you.
It's not about to judge. I know,
it's painful. Is it painful to you?
No, it's evil.
It's evil what you did? Is it evil?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're judging yourself.
Because I love them.
You love them.
You see, the officer is having her look into a mirror because the officer is trying to see if she understands right from wrong. So if you know that what you did is evil, you understand right from wrong. But let's hear what she did.
Okay.
Oh, man. That's how I feel. Like, y'all know. Anybody who know me know about my kids. And it's like, and then turn around all this time I'm keeping y'all away from everybody else. And it's y'all. It's like a mixture of ourselves. There's no other outsiders. There's no outsiders that ended up hurting y'all. And that's the one thing I've always been worried about in my life. But that's what happened to me. That's why I don't talk to my mother. You know? They didn't do anything when shit happened to me.
We're gonna get to that. But I need you to take it off your chest, and I need you to tell me what you did. You told me some stuff, but
like a bathtub, right? It's hot water.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like this. I stood him in there.
In the hot water?
Yeah.
No, did you
got right back out?
Did you run the hot water first and then dump him?
What do you mean?
How?
I grabbed him in the bathroom and I was still talking to him. And then I'm asking him, like, why are you doing his sex? I hate him. And it's okay. We're just talking about it, and I got the hot water on. And I'm still talking to him, but it's like I'm threatening him. And I didn't plan on doing it, but I did it. It's like, I can't explain it to you.
So you turned the hot water in the bathtub?
Yes. And if you don't tell me everything, and tell me exactly why, and just everything, like what you've been through.
Did you put him in the bathtub?
I stood him up in there.
You stood him up in there?
Yeah. So his feet got really messed up. It was basically a rotation of that, punching him, just hurting him. He's skinny.
How long did that go for?
In total, after I found out, he was in there 4 or 5 days. And I made him stay in his room. I took him food because I didn't know what to do. So I called my aunt first to see, but I ended up, I guess, checking out. I didn't tell her. She knew nothing of what was going on. He started telling me everything,
So as you can see, this didn't happen in the heat of the moment. This happened over a number of days. So she punched him. She put him in scalding hot water, which probably he had the 3rd-degree burns on his skin, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 4th on his skin. He might have ran up an infection. And he probably had internal bleeding from all the punching she was punching him and burning him at the same time. Heartless. Heartless.
Oh, he said he took his dad away from him. It's just a lot of things. Like we talked for a very long time, and she just told me a lot of stuff, and I just had to go downstairs. How long?
So the son, I think what was happening by him telling her a whole bunch of stuff, he just trying to get out of the beating and the torture, and he tried one tactic that didn't work. Then he told her other stuff to see if that would stop her from doing it. Not saying it might not be true, but it's like he was trying different tactics to get her to stop abusing him. But it kind of looks like it kind of triggered something in her, either some childhood trauma or something to keep her going, and she just kept going.
After that incident, does Stephen die? But how long? Okay, so you beat him up the one day, right? And then 5 days go by, you beat him up again?
No, the just mixing. The hot water was the night before, the afternoon before.
Mm-hmm.
It was around 1 something in the afternoon.
So, are you telling me, because when I asked you what exactly did you do this?
Basically, that day when I found out, I messed him up. He was still walking around functioning. Mm-hmm. He was just in that room. And the more and more started telling me throughout the days and everything he remembers since he was eating Cheerios. And I've been calling him out.
So basically, what she's saying is he passed away after all the abuse she did to her. But he didn't pass away right away. She still had time to call an ambulance or take him to the hospital if she regretted what she did. But she chose not to do that and leave him at home, broken, basically, tortured, and in agony. So she does realize what she did.
To see what to do when I asked the police. When I asked the police, when it's two brothers, I put it in the scenario as somebody else's situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if one brother was in the other one, can y'all take the little one to jail even though he's a minor?
Why would they take the little one to jail?
Not jail, but like juvenile.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get a time.
So she called the police and gave them a hypothetical scenario and asked them what would they do. But I think the police should have then done a welfare check to make sure the kids were okay, even though it was a hypothetical scenario. It shows the flaws in the system, because that welfare check could have saved the kid's life if they had just come by and did a welfare check. Because who calls the police with a hypothetical scenario? That's suspicious. But they didn't do a welfare check. And I think earlier on there was also anonymous somebody reported anonymously that they needed to do a welfare check on the kids when her oldest daughter was younger, like 5. And yeah, the cracks in the system, and now you have this
Line here, because you do these things to him, right? How long do you do these things? You assault him, you put him in the water. How many days go by before he dies?
I want to say no more than a week.
So you said the first day you punched him several times. The second day you didn't touch him.
No.
But the
second day I was like throwing up and was really, I had been drinking vodka, like from the first day, period. I just couldn't get up.
You said you was throwing up?
It's like when I get up, maybe I would have went back in there, but...
Did you say you was throwing up?
Yeah, the only reason I didn't go, honestly, the only reason I didn't go back in that second day, because every time I got up, I'm throwing up, and I'm sick, and
But then the third, the fourth, and fifth day, you continue. The following days, you continue to assault them. Is that correct?
Drinking.
But did you continue?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do? The same thing?
So she tortured this child for a week straight, basically. Just going in there, beating him, burning him, and then drinking vodka and repeating the cycle. Oh, you missed the second day. So now I want to think he had internal bleeding from all that punching and beating she was doing on him. And she was washing away her pain with vodka.
I was going back for just punching him basically and choking him. Yeah, and it was like
So the only reason that she didn't beat him up the second day is because she was throwing up. She was sick from all that drinking and abusing, I guess. Or else he would have had it day 2 too. Sick. This is sick.
how it went. Like I'll talk to him for a second, and he'll say something, and I'll start punching him, and I'll stop, and then I'll start talking to him again, and then it's like no answer he gave was
good enough.
Who witnessed this?
The children.
Stony.
And who else?
Was downstairs, but she witnessed.
Sony and...
Yes, well, he was downstairs, but you mean me doing this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saw me punching him.
She saw you punching him?
Yes, both of everybody. It wasn't the first day though, because I had told her to go downstairs with the girls, but at one point, yeah, they did. Everybody saw that.
So basically she's saying their kids or the oldest daughter witnessed her abusing this child, and they're saying if the witness was a minor, she will be charged with endangering the welfare of a minor too. Charge her with everything you got. At this point, charge her with everything you got.
At what point do you put Stephen in the freezer?
Because they died. When I came back in the room, he says, I just throw up.
Say that again?
So when I came back from, he says I have to throw up. So I walked him to the bathroom. He didn't throw up, and he said I have to poop. He didn't poop. So I just took him back in the room, and he laid back down. And his breathing was sounded weird. It was just, and I put my hand right here on his chest, and his heartbeat was like, it was crazy. I put my ear up to it, and it was like, and he's just like, he's going like this.
He was leaving.
So he was fainting out?
And I tried to do CPR on him.
You tried CPR on him?
I tried.
While he was still alive?
No, when he started looking like that and started doing that.
So did he stop breathing when you tried CPR?
No, he stopped before that.
So he stopped breathing and you tried to do
looking
CPR?
at him and he's going,
Okay.
I didn't hear it no more. So I'm just looking at him like, oh my God. And then, like, the food I gave him, I had to feed him, actually. He told me his stomach hurt and he didn't want to eat. And I'm like, you're going to eat, you know. This was the night before. He said, have some pizza or something like that. And I'm like, no. I actually told him, you can't have no pizza. That's why I'm giving him a little healthy choice. The smart choice is beef stew. No. I just know I was trying to do it. And I smelled it. I saw carrots. It's the beef stew. I saw it.
At that point, he stopped breathing.
So this is the most emotion I've seen out of her since she's telling this whole story, that she was triggered by the smell of the soup, because now that smell reminds you of your son's last minutes, seconds on this earth that you inflicted on him, that you took from him, that you robbed him of. So every time you smell soup now, I hope that triggers you. Every time you see a carrot, I hope it triggers you so you know what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And what did I do?
Yeah.
Just close the door and sat there with him for a while.
So you didn't try to give him CPR or you did?
So after he was gone, so I'm like, nothing is happening.
Okay, so he stopped breathing at some point.
Started to get.
Did you ever give him CPR?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to do it, and I never.
So you never did give him CPR because you don't know CPR.
What do you mean?
You told me that you gave him CPR.
I'm not listening, man.
That's what I'm asking. I want you to tell me.
Okay, it's like when I went to blow in his mouth. That's what I'm saying about the soup. Mm-hmm. Right on his nose. So I took it as, you are still breathing. So I'm doing like this. And then I heard something, I'm like, that's right. You know, I'm like, get up. Yeah, when I'm doing like this, it's making, I can't explain it, it's just making, you know.
Did you call for medical assistance
After he died? No.
I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to see if she tried to help her son or had any remorse or anything, but she didn't call for any medical assistance. This is the most remorse I've seen out of her because the soup triggers her, the smell, the carrots. Hope it triggers you for the rest of your life, but so she didn't call for help.
After I stopped trying to do that, I just said yes to Juan, and I was just looking at him.
Why not? Why didn't you call for somebody?
I was scared.
How did Stoney die?
My kids. Stoney, I meant to do it.
Excuse me?
With Stoney, I meant to do it.
She meant to kill
Stephen
Stoney.
I can't even feel the accident, but it's not. If somebody dies from what you do to them, then it's bad. But Stoney, I did mean to.
So Mitchelle went to confess that the boy Stephen was an accident, but her daughter Stoney, she meant to do that. She meant to kill her own child. This is so heartbreaking. This is crazy. And let's watch.
After you finished holding him, what did you do with Stephen's body?
Huh?
You what? Did you do anything? You just put him in the freezer? Did you put some clothes on him? What did you do? You just put him in the freezer as he was?
Well, he had this Paul Frank's blanket that he was like a lot. So I just wrapped.
You wrapped him in what kind of blanket?
It's like Paul Frank. You know, the monkey Paul Frank on kids' clothing or.
That was his favorite blanket? Paul Frank?
It's like, it's a name brand, it has the monkeys on it, and it was a big comforter. It was blue and white with monkeys on it. And I heard he used to argue with them, like, don't touch my blanket. So I just,
Is this your father?
First of all, where are these kids' fathers? How you don't know your child is missing? Like, what mother can just tell you, I let them go live with their auntie without your permission, and you just take that and run with it? Live with their auntie. Like, how you don't know your child is missing? You've wrapped your son in a blanket and put him in the freezer. What goes through your mind when you do something like that? I'm just wondering.
Yes. Okay. They got in touch with him.
I don't know. You want him to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now you want their father? Why didn't you give him to
Is there any way you can find out if they got in touch with him yet? Because I know it's on the news.
Would that make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, because they're showing, it's no more comfortable. It's just, they're showing the house and...
Yeah, they're getting in contact with them. They're not going to let them see that. The other ones, that's what you're worried about?
My kids?
Yeah.
The kids, they were with me.
I know, but they don't know what's going on, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Definitely, yes. I meant their dad, can somebody
they're going to
tell him before he sees it on the news, because he knows my house and they were already showing it.
My question is, why didn't you tell their dad before If you felt like these kids were doing so much harm, and call the dad and say, hey, come get your kid. I can't deal with your kid. Your kid did this and that, and it's making me want to kill him. I'm sure the dad would take his son.
Yeah, they're doing that now. What did you do to your daughter, Stony?
Should I tell you what happened with her before?
No, we're going to get to that. I just need to know what you did to her, and then we're going to get back to what she did. Okay?
So I'll tell you what's leading up.
Tell me how you feel more comfortable. If that's how you feel more comfortable, you can tell me like that. But we're going to get to that. I just kind of would rather you answer this question, and then you could tell me what, and then I'm going to ask you what led up to it.
Okay. First, same thing, very first thing. I punched her so hard because she was still doing it after he told me about Steven. And he said he was so scared of Stony. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me this? He said, because she kept saying that, don't say nothing, or she gonna beat me up and all that. Whatever, it's just...
All of this under your...
I found out 9 months later that she had been still doing this after Steven.
When did you leave?
They were arguing about something, and they came in the room, and he said, don't sit next to me. I said, stop acting like that to her. It's your sister. And he was like, oh, I don't want to sit next to me. She mean to me anyway. And I said, mean how? He was like, she should kick me like this. And I'm like, so why you never tell me? Then he started saying my diaper. Just got, I don't know. I'm like, what do you know, it started off with Stony. And he ended up telling me Stony was doing that to Steven first. See what I'm saying? And I looked at her and I'm like, you sat here. We talked. We all talked to Steven together. He was doing that.
Okay, so basically what they're saying is Stony is the daughter. She said that boy Alex, the last one, like she making Alex out to be the source of murder, basically. Alex is the reason why she killed those other two by what he told her. And I think she was abused as a child, and this is triggering her, and she went into a mental whatever, and it's triggering things that happened to her. So basically she's saying Alex is telling her that the older sister, Stony, is the one who did it to Steven, who she already killed and put in the freezer. So now she's regretting, I think, killing Steven, because actually Steven learned it from Stony. Because Stony did it to him, and he then did it to the little boy Alex. And now that Steven is in the freezer, after that happened, the little boy Alex says Stony is still abusing him, which triggers her and makes her feel justified for killing the daughter Stony, because even after she killed Steven for doing the same thing, Stony went and did the same thing.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying that when you told you that Stony used to kick him and said something about his back.
Yeah, he
said something about his back. But how do you get those two things out of? Because I don't see in that.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean?
So that Stony used to kick him.
That's what I'm saying. I need to go through how it came out.
Okay.
Because they did not only just him. It was taking his food. It sounds petty. They blame things on him. But I fussed at him, but it wasn't him. They take his food. Even at school, Steven would get up and go grab his food. I'm like, y'all, I get $700 in snaps every month. Y'all eat. It's like you steal when you see him in the hallway, you take jabs at him. Well, he started talking about, so we're sitting on the edge of the bed, and then we're talking. And I looked at Stony because after it happened, I told them, so if y'all do anything, I will hurt you. And he's like, we didn't hurt. You get what I'm saying? So we're sitting there, started talking about his diaper, and I said, when did Stony kick you? He said, she kicked me and I rolled. I said, as big as you are? He was like, I was little. He's talking about way back, and he's talking. It's like he felt confident. He's talking, telling me everything. It's like, I don't know what to believe, but I know he's not lying. Because he's just going.
Okay.
I'm about to get to it. So when I said rolling, what do you mean rolling? How she roll you? Your bitch, she kicked the hell out of you like that to make you roll. And he says, I was little. She used to push me over with my cuffs and then she took my diaper off. And I said, what do you mean take your diaper off? He said, remember when I had the diapers and you could pull them off right here? She take my diaper off. She touched my butt.
Oh boy.
And I'm sitting here like, I just remember I felt hot as hell.
This is what happened to Steven, I think. She has uncontrolled anger and she has a rage. And when she's in that anger or in that rage, she doesn't think, she just reacts. And that's how she beat the hell out of that boy for a whole week or 5 days until he died. Because she got angry and she just started reacting because she can't control it.
It was like, and Mom, and she did that nasty stuff too. I said, what nasty stuff? And I'm looking at her and I just
Punched her.
walked straight up to her. She said, nasty stuff. And I walked straight up to her and I did like this, put up against the wall. So what did you do? I looked at her and I said, tell me now.
So you grab her, she's still breathing because you're asking her a question.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You squeeze tighter where she can't breathe? What do you do?
After he told me that, it was like
Rage.
She just slammed her.
So you grabbed harder?
I grabbed, I just got it. I already had a good grip. So I did like this, you sling somebody down. So after he said what he said, I just threw her down. I kicked her. She got up, was backing up. And I asked her, oh, have you been doing this to him too? And she was like, yes.
And she was doing that to Steven?
Yes, did you do this? I'm looking at her, and then that's what kind of me up because Steven was always an arm baby. People was like, oh,
what did she
shoulder? Stoney? She said yes. Because he was right here telling everything basically.
At what point do you kill Stoney?
I hit Stoney in the head.
With what?
Like a little stick.
What was that?
It's like a stick.
Just a wooden stick?
Yeah, but it's thick, you know what I mean?
I was about to say, don't sit there whispering like you don't know you took a big, thick wooden stick and whooped her in the head with it, which could cause a skull fracture. And now you lost your voice. Cat got your tongue. Speak up.
About this long. So I had him around like this. And while I was talking to her, but I'm looking at her, and I'm just asking me, why did you do it? Tell me the truth. And she just came out. She was like, very chill. I couldn't. So I'm in her head, and I'm like, he was a baby.
How big was it? About that big?
About this. It was blue. I just started talking to her for a minute, and she was just quiet, and I just turned around, looked at her, and I went back to her. And I punched her again.
Uncontrolled anger.
My stomach once, I just, same thing.
So, he tell you some more stuff, you punch her, and then you tell her to go to her room?
Yes. I didn't just punch her once, though. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It went on for a while. She was up in her room for like 2 days.
So she feels justified beating this girl because she feels like she's the oldest. She's seen her kill the son for that same thing while she's the one that's been doing it, and she did it to the son that she killed also. So she feels that this child needs to die. She's justifying her killing the child. This is ridiculous.
When talked to her after the first day I found out, I did what I did. I go in there and give her food. And I get pissed at myself when I gave her food because y'all was stealing food from him every day. That's why he goes to sleep hungry and wake up hungry.
You pissed for giving her food?
So
Okay, so you give her food.
I started giving her so much. So I fed her like twice a day. And I didn't touch her for a while.
Let me ask you this. Did you at some point, did you stop giving her food, period?
That's my
What you mean?
Did you starve her?
yeah.
Basically. It went down from 2 times a day to 1, and it was only oatmeal.
Really? What kind of parent are you?
Oatmeal and water.
So you basically starved her, right?
Yeah.
And is that how she dies?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. There's more? Tell me more.
Okay, so
How long does this go on for?
about almost 2 weeks.
Oh my Lord. 2 weeks?
But the hitting wasn't.
Just a starvation?
I did mess her up that first day.
Huh?
I did mess her up bad that first day. She was still walking around, and I don't know. I was functioning, but I take her little food up to her, and I even go up and I sit in the corner and I just talk to her and I look at her like, we talk for a second, I just have to do this and I just talk about all of us and what we're supposed to be like, and I just leave the room. This is what I'm trying to get to him.
So this woman, she'll sit there, talk to them, and then go in an uncontrollable rage and beat the heck out of them that would eventually kill them. So she has like mood swings, like rages, uncontrollable rages. So when she's talking to them, in the next second, she could be punching the heck out of them. Crazy.
Trying to tell her, give me a hug. So you love your brother, you can't tell him that. She says he's retarded.
Oh.
He heard her say that. He's retarded. He's annoying. Yeah. And she just went, oh. She cried because I wanted her to give him a hug. And I said, you don't love him. And she was like, no. I punched her. And I told her to say it again. She's saying no, like, it hurts you. You hate him that much. You don't want to hug him. And
So what did you do when she did that?
Punched him.
the blue pipe. Excuse me? The blue pipe, the wood thing.
Was it a pipe or a stick?
Well, it was, I guess you can, it's a wooden, well, I call it a pipe because if you're holding
rounded?
your hand, yeah, and it's blue.
Where did it come from?
One of the bad parts, like, you know what I mean?
Or was it metal or was it wood?
It's wood.
And it was about a foot long?
Thick.
Okay. Okay, so you hit her with that?
Yeah, when I say thick, it was thin, but it was sturdy. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hit her with that.
Where did you hit her at?
Right in her head. Mostly in her head. She had
Several times?
a lot, yes. Like, little lumps everywhere.
So she survived that assault?
Yes, and she was fine. Not fine, but she was mobile.
Okay, so what happens then? Does she go to a room?
Well, that's, okay, so I'm trying to get to this part, but I'll finish this out. I was looking at her like, what the f***? And I just grabbed her, and I went in the closet. Just got a towel. I just put it right here, and I put ice left in it. Told her to get in bed and just keep it back. She asked me, could she sit up? So I said, okay.
You said you go in the closet and grab a towel?
Yeah, go in the closet to wash off. And I put ice in it and put it up here, but she said it hurts. And she was sleepy, so I let her go to sleep. I know I told her to go to her room. And after I finished helping her with this, I went and drank.
You go drink?
Go sit in the basement. No, I don't.
You went to the basement to drink?
Yes.
You know everything you're doing is what?
No.
So she's drinking. Every time she abused them, she goes and she take a drink. But she still remembers what she did. Damn.
I know that. And it's like, I can't explain to you, I was in between, like, crying, like, what the you doing? It's your kids.
Yeah, man.
And I got right back in her face. And I like that. Just the fact that you told her, I can't, I used to tell my baby she's not going to save you. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going to save you. So he told me that. I'm telling you. He said, thank you for saving me. He said that. No. I just don't understand why he didn't tell me about her sooner. And that still would have been happening.
So what ended up happening?
Smothered.
You smothered her? Was it that same night? You go to the basement, you drink.
She smothered her own child. Now you whispering? No, speak up. You said you did it intentionally. Speak up. So you drink to rile yourself up, and then you come and then you smother her. Oh, you got a lot to live with.
Oh, no. I get like that. I'm too. No. This was a while later.
Like a day, 2 days later?
No, maybe days. Because,
like how many days?
I don't know. But,
so after a few days go by, right? You just go upstairs and you smother her?
No.
Okay, tell me what.
This is, I'm going to say after. It's like I didn't touch her again.
For a few days?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we're going on in the second week now, and I'm just in this house now. The conversation we had about, and that's not there.
Okay, but I want you to walk me through it. So, do you go upstairs and just say, you know what, I'm going to smother her, and you just smother her?
No.
Or do you guys have a conversation?
She was laying on the floor.
Where at?
In her room.
Okay.
So I came in, and I sat down.
So you go in her room.
Yeah. And I scared her because she was asleep, but I sat down in front of her. So you wake up. She basically wake up and saw my face, and she was like this. And I just kept asking her, are you ready to apologize?
Now, when you asked her if she was ready to apologize, what did she say?
She said,
Speak up.
there's nothing wrong with my son. That's all I know.
Nobody's saying what's wrong with your son. What did she say, though? When you said, are you ready to apologize to what did she say?
She doesn't want to apologize to him.
So she said no?
Yeah, but it's like, it wasn't a flat out no. It's like, I am sorry for doing this to somebody, but you're not sorry for doing that to him?
What?
This is what I'm saying. Like,
what did she say? What did she say?
She just looked at me.
So she was saying
went like this. Someone doesn't do that. She's been hard to get answers out of. She's like, you know, I'm like Stony.
So she never said
apologize. No. She was saying no a couple days before. And that's what she kept saying, no. So I'm like, are you ready to apologize to him? She just said, I'm sorry for doing it to. How are you not sorry for your brother?
She said she was sorry for doing it to what?
No, I misspoke, not for doing it. She said, I'm sorry for doing it, period, to somebody. But you're not going to say you're sorry for doing it.
So you punched her?
Yes.
I think this lady was abused herself when she was younger, and this triggered her, and she killed the middle child for inflicting harm on the baby Alex, and then later finds out that the middle child that she killed, the oldest one inflicted abuse on him, and now she's justifying killing the oldest child because she because she abused both the kids. So this one was justified. It's like she's looking for an apology for herself because that's the apology she never got, basically, for being abused herself. It almost feels like that. But let's hear what she has to say.
More than once?
It was basically really fast. I punched her.
Again?
She actually hit me back.
Good for her.
You know what I mean? Because I punched so hard. So she reached up and she hit me back, so I slammed her on the ground. And I'm holding like this. She looked at me, she was like, I didn't even do that. I was like, reflex. And then it's like the part is, Stony always had a problem with fighting. You know what I mean? So it's like I had a whole lot of feelings at once. I don't know if he understands, but like I was actually kind of proud of her for actually hitting back because I've been fighting for them all my life. Yo. You got these kids hitting you and doing stuff to you, or try to fight you, and you want to hit back. And I don't know, it sounds up, but I was actually proud of her for actually hitting back. It just this was just
I think she says she's glad that Stoney hit her back because that gave her an excuse to kill her. You hit me back, so I'ma end your life. That hitting back was the excuse that she got to kill her. I can't picture it. You starved her, gave her one meal a day, oatmeal. She must have been weak as ever with all the head trauma you gave her. And then that one hit back, you was like, this is it.
today, and it just kept going. And her shirt, it's a black shirt. I just picked it up and I put it on her neck. She really fighting back. You know what I'm saying?
When you say put it around her neck, what do you mean? You tied it or you held it? You choked her?
I put it on her neck, and first I was in front of her, but as we tussling, and we both fell. I'm heavier, you know, and I'm holding it, but that's still not what did it. And yes, I did tie it because
Oh my gosh.
before I got up, I remember I tied it. And she got up too, and of course was backing up from me, trying to get away from me.
You say
She ain't going, we still in the room. And she gets up after, yeah, she gets up and was backing away, and I grabbed the bag.
A bag?
okay, you grab a bag
I just,
and you put the bag over her head or you just put it in her mouth?
no, I held it over her.
What?
I did both. I didn't put it in her mouth, I held it over her nose. At first, you know how you, and then I put it over her head, and up there like this.
Then what? Did she stop breathing at some point?
Yeah, that's what did it. That's what.
As you see, she has no emotions here. Like with the other kid, she was crying. She was the smell of the soup. This one is like it.
It hit hard.
What do you do with the body? Tony's body.
Freezer. Top of Steven.
Huh?
Freezer on top of Steven. I didn't wrap her in anything.
Did you show them? Did you show them the body?
Yeah. Not for a while.
How long did it take before you showed?
Not even a week.
What was their reaction?
Crying a lot. She's just crying a lot. It was looking like he was saying he was just looking at me. And he started crying. I asked him, why you crying? He said, you're going to be in trouble. And I just told him, you know I am. He told me I didn't like that. He don't like none of that stuff. That was his words. I don't like none of this stuff.
Now let me ask you this question.
Okay, I'm gonna end it right here. But showing the kids their siblings in the freezer, that shows how little you have no regards for your kids. It's like you're trying to tell them, see, they paid for what they did to you, and at the same time traumatizing the child. I don't understand what was going through her mind, what will make her do something like that, but I wanted to share the story with you guys so you can see that it's possible for some mothers to flip a switch, because this one surely did flip a switch. This was really, really a mother's house of horrors. So I'll catch you guys in the next video and start a conversation below of what you think about this story in the comment section. Catch you in the next video. Bye.